Good afternoon, my name is Eric Hallstrand, and today I'll be showing you how to create both a sport anchor and a gear anchor for rock climbing. To start with, I will be demonstrating how to create a sport anchor. To begin, you want to lay out a full-length cordelette into a large loop, then cross it in the center and pull it tight into two separate loops. Next, you want to pull on two opposing ends of the loop and grab the midpoint that will droop down. Make sure the connecting knot is near the end of your rope. Next, grab about 4 inches from the midpoint of the rope and tie an overhand knot. To show the overhand knot better, I will demonstrate with a thinner line. To begin, you want to straighten the line out and then create a loop with it crossing over itself. You should then pull the head of the line through the loop and pull tight. If you made the knot correctly, it should look like this, with the lines mostly parallel. You should then try to grab about 8 inches from your knot on the other side of the cordelette, and then you should tie yet another overhand knot. Again, if you did it correctly, it should look like this. After this, you can attach one carabiner to each of the ending loops, facing away from the midpoint. Make sure the carabiners go through both loops at each end of the cordelette. Next, we will attach 2 carabiners to the center segment. Make sure that you only clip the carabiners through 3 of the 4 strands, leaving 1 outside of the carabiner. You should also clip both carabiners in opposing directions. To attach this anchor to the wall, you should clip each of the end carabiners through the bolt at the top. Make sure not to clip the chain. You should clip them so that their gates are faced both out from the wall and out from the center. You can then clip your rope through the 2 centered carabiners and your anchor is complete. Next, I will be demonstrating how to create a gear anchor. To set up a gear or traditional anchor, the first thing you need to do is find 3 anchor points to attach the anchor to the wall. These can be bolts, cams, nuts, or if allowed by the rock, natural protection. The first and best anchor point is a bolt. This is a metal loop attached to the wall permanently. Most of the time they'll look like the image on the left, but the anchor shown on the right as well as similar anchors are also safe to use. When creating a gear anchor, you should only clip into one of the bolts. Next are cams. They're used when there's a crack in the wall with parallel segments, and the cams can be placed in any orientation so long as the carabiner at the end is tense towards your anchor. Next is nuts. These pieces are good for cracks that do not run parallel. They're placed so that the wider top part gets stuck when the crack constricts, as shown in the images. They offer protection so long as the force is completely downwards, so your anchor has to be below the nut. Finally, there is natural protection. If there's a tree, chalkstone, horn, or other natural feature you're comfortable with, you can try to wrap a sling around it with either a girth hitch or another overhand knot, and then attach a carabiner. Now that you have the 3 anchor points, you will need to set up your cordelette like this by creating a large loop and clipping that loop into your 3 anchor points through a carabiner. You will then pull from the gap between each piece towards the edge of the cliff, overlaying each line. You should then tie a figure 8 knot to create your master point. To create a figure 8 knot, start by crossing your line over itself, creating a loop like you would for an overhand knot. Next, you want to wrap your line behind itself away from your knot. Finally, pull the head of your line through the loop at the end, and then pull the system tight and your knot is complete. Finally, you can clip your 2 carabiners in opposing directions through the midpoint loop and attach your rope to the system. And that's it. You now know how to set up both types of anchors. Thanks for watching.